Hi, this is the practice problems for Module 2.5 in Algebra. And just want to go over a few of these just to give you an idea. This is a review of some roots that you may or may not have done last year, depending on your curriculum you had. So there's two different ways of doing the same thing. You can simplify that by breaking up the numbers underneath the square roots and turning them into exponents, or you could just kind of multiply them out. So I'm going to go ahead and just give some examples here. We'll work through some of these to make sure you know what you're doing. To start off with, I like to come up with, let's do purple. I like to come up with squares. So for me, 2 squared equals 4. 3 squared equals 9. 4 squared equals 16, and 5 squared equals 25. So I want to know which of these numbers in this row here will go into 40 evenly. Well, 4 will. So what I can do is I can split 40 into square root of 4 times the square root of 10. So as long as my two numbers underneath the square root multiply to equal my original number, 40, I can break it down that way. So then I can say the square root of 4 simplifies to 2, but I don't have a whole number answer for the square root of 10. So I'm actually just going to leave it as the square root of 10, and that is my final answer. So now let's try number 2. Square root of 50. Well, which of my numbers over here go into 50 evenly? Well, 25 does. So I can turn that into the square root of 25, and 25 times 2 equals 50. So I'm going to do the square root of 2. Just to double check, 2 times 25 equals 50. So I've done that correctly. Now I can simplify. The square root of 25 is 5. Can't simplify the square root of 2. Leave it as that. 5 square root of 2. So let's try a cubed root. So over here we have a cubed root of 16. Let's do the same thing we did before. I'm actually going to do these in blue, and I'll do them on this side. So 3 cubed, we'll start with 2. So 2 cubed equals 8. 3 cubed equals 27, and 4 cubed equals 64. Now they're getting really big really fast. So I'm just going to stop there. And I'm going to look and see which of these cubes goes into 16 evenly. Well, the one that goes in evenly is 8. So I'm going to break this out into the cubed root of 8 times the cubed root of, 8 times 2 is 16. Again, double check, 8 times 2 is 16. So I've done that one correctly. So now the cubed root of 8 is 2. Can't simplify the cubed root of 2. So it's 2 cubed root of 2. Final answer. Now number 4 tends to catch people. I'm going to scroll up just a tad. So square root of 72. Now this one, we can use a number we have here. We have a 9, but we actually can go bigger than that. I can go to 6 squared and do 36. So I'm going to do both ways so you can kind of see what happens if you don't pick the biggest number that goes in. So we know it'd be 36 times 2. And so if I do that one, I'll do that here so we can show you a more efficient way. Square root of 36 times square root of 2. 36 times 2 is 72. That's good. And square root of 36 is 6. Can't do anything with the square root of 2. So I should get this number as an answer. So I'm going to do a second version down below. I do that one in red. So I'm going to go down here. And what if you saw that and you said, oh, 9. I only went through 4 or 5, and I didn't realize the 36 worked in there. So square root of 9 times the square root of 8, right? So if I did it this way, that simplifies to a 3. But notice the 8 can be broken down into a square root of 4, because 4 is up here, and a square root of 2. So now you have to do one extra step. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 2 stays the same. So a final answer would be 6 square root of 2. So you can still get there. You just have to recognize that 8 needs to be simplified into broken down even more because 4 goes into it evenly. All right, let's move over here to 81. 4th root of 81. Oh, goodness, that's a big number. So let's go over here. We'll do 2 to the 4th equals 16. 3 to the 4th equals 81. Oh, well, look at that. You write that a little better. That's the number I want, isn't it? 81. So what that tells me is I can do the 4th root of 81, and that simplifies evenly to a 3. So that one's done. All right, square root of 32. So let's look over here back at our square roots. 4, 9, 16 goes into 32 evenly. So I'm going to do the square root of 16. 16 times 2 is 32. Double check. 16 times 2, 32. All right, that's right. Equals square root of 16 is 4. Can't do anything with the square root of 2. So my final answer is 4 square root of 2. Keep going. 160. 5th root of 160. I'm going to run out of colors here. So let's go over here and go 2 to the 5th is 32. I don't even know if I know 3 to the 5th. But notice 32 will go into 160 evenly. So that, we don't even have to go further because we know that guy. So 160 divided by 32 is 5. So I'm going to go back here, get my green. Square root of, 5th root of 32 times the 5th root of 5. Again, double check. 32 times 5 is 160. So the 5th root of 32 equals 2. Can't do a 5th root of 5. 5th root of 5. And that gets me the final answer of 2 5th root of 5. All right, next, 45. We're back to square roots. We're back over in this column over here. So goes into 45 evenly, 9 does. So let's do, wrong color. Square root of 9 times square root of 9 times 5 is 45, right? 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, good. So now square root of 9 is 3. Can't do anything with our 5. 3 square root of 5. All right, last one. We have a cubed root. So now we're looking over in this column. 54. 8 times 7 is 56, not quite. 27 times 2. There we go, we use 27. So cubed root of 27 times cubed root, we said, was 2, just to make sure. 27 times 2, that does give me 54. All right. So equals cubed root of 27, we said, is 3. And I still have a cubed root of 2. And so now I've gotten through all of those and simplified. Next page, you're filling in. I'm not going to walk through all these because this should be review. Just keep in mind this one is arithmetic. So you're going to do your subtract, then divide, right? Right on here. Subtract, then divide. Down here, you're doing geometric, which means when you do geometric, you're going to do your divide, then root, right? Do your root of whatever number you need up here. So let me just go through a 16. This one has confused some people. Say pause if you're filling out those others first. But otherwise, those should be pretty straightforward. So 16 has some different notations that might be confusing. So think in terms of this one, this FW. It's saying, what am I doing to 4 to get to 16? Now we're still in the geometric. So 4 times 2 is 16, and 16 times 2 is what? Well, that's 32. So my F of W, this one here, is times 2. That's what I'm doing to go from the 4 to the 6. Oh, wait a minute. My goodness. Not a times 2. I'm thinking as an 8, isn't it? 4 times 4. So 16 times 4 is 64. Sorry about that. I got that 2 mode. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So over here we have a times 4 for our F of W. Well, the F of E is asking, what am I going to do to between the 4 and the 16? Well, we know this is geometric. So let's do 16 divided by 4 equals 4. I can see that I have 2 jumps, so I want to take the square root of 4. Well, that number we actually know. That's a 2, isn't it? So we know to go from 4 to my next box will be a times 2. There's my 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. So my F of E is a times 2. So we're just practicing that geometric meanies that we were doing up here on these guys up there. But now we've just got different layers of jumps we're practicing. So let's go to the next ones and see what we've got here. So here we have same idea. Let's start with this one. I'm going to jump from 4 to 8. Geometric, that's the times 2. 8, same thing, times 2 would be 16. So my F of W is a times 2. Next, I'm going to go figure out what's going underneath these guys. So what am I doing times what to get, then a times again to get an 8? Geometric meanies. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. I have 2 jumps, so I need the square root of 2. So since we're keeping it exact, times square root of 2, I'm just going to put 4 square root of 2 times square root of 2. The 2's cancel, the square roots cancel out. 4 times 2 is 8. Times square root of 2 is 8 square root of 2 times square root of 2. Square roots cancel out. 8 times 2 is 16. So over here, I'm multiplying by the square root of 2. So now for 18, here I'm doing the big jump of 5 to 15. Well, 5 times 3 gets me 15. 15 times 3 is 45. So my f of w is times 3. Well, my f of e are my little ones in between. So let's do our geometric meanies. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. I said I had 2 jumps, so that's a square root of 3. So times square root of 3, I want it exact, 5 square root of 3 times square root of 3. Square roots cancel out. 5 times 3 is 15. Do another jump, times square root of 3. That's 15 square root of 3 times another square root of 3. Square roots cancel out, give me 15 times 3. So I have a times square root of 3. So for these on here, just a reminder, when you're trying to solve for these, anytime it has the number inside the parentheses, we're substituting that for x. So this would be done as 2 times -3 minus 7 equals what? Well, 2 times -3 is -6. -6 minus 7 would be -13. Anytime we have this setup, I'm substituting the 21 for the f of x. So how this one looks is 21 equals 2x minus 7. So then I have to use my algebra, add 7 to both sides. So 28 equals 2x, divide by 2, divide by 2, x equals 14. So those canceled, x equals 14. So up on here, I would put x equals 14. So those are the ways you're going to solve these down here. So for my group, we have not talked about how to solve with the undo the exponents like this right now. So the b's in this one, and this one will be optional and a challenge, and we'll talk about those later. But the rest of them you should be able to at least get an answer for and fill in. Thanks and have a good day.